Hello. Hello. And hello, if I may be so bold. And welcome to this mess. How are we all? Are we well? It's a new week, kind of. It started yesterday, but you get the idea. Well, for some people it starts on a Sunday. Not entirely sure why. But, you know, take it up with the calendar makers. How are we all? Are we well? I hope we're well. Today is the bottle episode, the beach episode, whatever you want to call it, the filler episode. It's the episode where we do a bunch of bits and bobs that I either forgot to do or want to do because they're optional and I like them. So, yeah, we can, for the moment, forget that we're flying around in a massive space potato. And that every person in our party, apart from one, happens to all have grown up in the same orphanage and forgotten about it because they have equipped strange demons into their brain, which is rotting away their memories. But don't worry about that. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah. Red flag time. Are there red flags here? Almost certainly. It's Final Fantasy VIII. But, yeah, it's a bit more chill, this one, generally speaking. I mean, there's a bit of the story to do with occupied territory, but nevertheless, never the fewer, never the twain shall meet. What? Sorry, I'm adjusting microphones. Might make noise, my apologies. My apologies. So, what are we doing? Good question. Let's begin with a quick recap of what happened last time. So, where did we begin? We began with everything being destroyed. So what with the space potato being lifted up out of the ground and flying away and crashing into a city, all of Jenny's preparations for the garden festival were destroyed, and she was upset about it. But Jesse McCree had a plan to get the people of Fisherman's Horizon, who really like fixing things, to fix up the festival. Wouldn't that be great? He also had a plan to try and get Simon and Cheery together, because literally no reason as far as I can tell, but he wants to. While we were doing this, a boat, an actual boat, not a school that happens to fly and swim, came along with white seed in it, don't ask me, and said, is there somebody on your space potato called Dishonored Jessie? And we said no. And they said, no, we know she's here, we need her. And we said no. And they said, yes, but we're here under instruction from the sorceress, TM. To which we said, well, definitely no. It's at this point the Fly, Headmaster Fly, who happens to be apparently married to the sorceress, said, don't worry, it's fine. Oh, this is planned. Don't worry about it. Go and find Dishonored Jessie. So we find Dishonored Jessie. She explains, given that she appeared in the dreams that we've been having while falling unconscious, she appears in them as a young girl. She says that she is the one who is in some way causing the dreams. She doesn't explain why or how, but she is in some way connected to it. And then leaves because we throw a hissy fit because somebody's in our brain and we don't like it. It's a miss. Hi, how you doing? Just recapping the nonsense from last time. So that's a thing. That's the second emotion Simon has shown. Then this happened. Oh yeah, I was going to make the music, wasn't I? I forgot about that. Hang on, I'll write that on my list. Keeping lists. FFVIII concert. Cool. It's a Jib. Hi. You're here and you're filling yourself with cake. These are two good things. Of Jenny. Jenny's having a whale of a time. So, the Fisherman's Horizon people repaired the stage and set it up in the middle of Fisherman's Horizon, and they decided to put on, well, 2/3 of our group decided to put on a concert for the other third, where apparently Pikachu was playing the recorder, Velma's playing the kazoo, Jesse McCree's playing the banjo, and Jenny's playing the hurdy-gurdy, I guess. And apparently Simon and Cheery have been set up on a date for reasons I don't quite understand. Jive's also there. obviously. Best combination of instruments, absolutely. So having discarded the dirty magazine that Jesse McCree left for us, I think it's about Vin Diesel and archaeology, I think. I can't remember. There was a joke in there somewhere. We have the underwhelming date. She tries to get Simon to dance. He doesn't. And he gets a bit stroppy because his life's a bit weird at the moment. Does it contain trowels? I think it does. Lots and lots of trowels. Don't show it to kids. We then have a dream. A proper dream this time. Of a young kid in a weird stone-looking place, being all sad because it's raining. Well, not because it's raining, and it's raining. And saying that he's sad that his little sister's, his big sister's gone away. We then, Jenny, understandably, says, "Hey, we have an ability to fly anywhere in the planet now. Can we go to my old school? Because apparently that got hit by missiles, and I want to see if it's all right." So we go there, and it got hit by missiles, and it's not great. But there are still some people alive. That's good. So we go and help them for a bit. While that's happening... Oh yeah, there's just a rocket in this stage. Don't know why that is the thing. While we're doing that, we have a little bit of a discussion about our past and our future and all these sorts of things. And it comes to light, for reasons beyond everybody's comprehension, that almost everybody in our group happened to grow up in the same orphanage, including Kyle, and that the orphanage was run by the sorceress. The only person who isn't here is Cheery. For reasons. So, that's a thing. And the reason we forgot that is apparently all the Pokemon we've been getting, what we do is we junction them to ourselves, and apparently that destroys our memories. The reason we conclude this is because Jesse McCree is the only one who does remember this, and he didn't actually train as a soldier, as a seed. And did he? He's only recently equipped them, that's what I'm trying to say. So he's still got the memories, they're in there. Cheery isn't an orphan, she has a dad. She does indeed. General Jen Errol, if I remember correctly. So, yeah, I mean, to be fair, Pikachu also has a mum, which it now turns out is an adopted mum, but there we are. She's in Blam, which we will go to today. See how she's doing, she's alright. Yeah, so that happened. So we've discovered that these powerful demons we've been smushing into our brains, not good for us. Just in case any of you are just bottling up that enthusiasm to see where that plot line goes, that's it. There is no consequence for us hereafter in the story in terms of memories or Pokemon or anything. It's just mentioned here and then forgotten, appropriately, I guess. So yeah, that happened, and then we go back to our conversation. Yeah, don't expect storylines to get an ending. 10 out of 10 storytelling. Then we go back here. It starts snowing for reasons undisclosed, although I think that might be nuclear ash, and everybody sort of reevaluates their positions and thinks about, you know, the fact that the person that they're fighting is actually somebody who looked after them when they were war orphans, essentially. And they come to the conclusion, as I think anybody would, that screw it, we're going to kill her anyway. And then they just leave and do that. But before that, we have some things to do, because today's the beach episode, we've got stuff to do. Side quests, things I forgot, all sorts of bits and bobs. And then we'll go kill her. So yeah. Frame Man is angry at this. Nothing is happening, Frame Man. Calm down. Calm down. No, you're still here. Calm down. No. Oh dear. Do you want me to get on with the plot, Frame Man? Do you not like the beach episode? Are you upset by this? Wow, you're really does not like filler at all. My word. We are dropping frames like flies here. Am I streaming anything at this point? Can anybody hear me? Apparently not. Wow, 0 kilobytes a second. I'm literally streaming nothing right now. I blame Twitch, personally. Who even knows if anybody can hear me? It's just nightmare. Absolute nightmare. Oh, it's green. Inexplicably. After going double kilobytes a second that it normally does. I really need to get on to optimizing OBS, don't I? Hello. Welcome back from Frayman's Onslaught. I don't know how much of my ramble you just heard. You can hear me, that's something. You can hear me now, right. Yeah, we dropped about 1,500 frames there. Which is a fair old amount. 5% of this stream has gone missing already. Hopefully that's not a trend that continues. I don't have anything open I shouldn't. So, yeah. Not sure what's going on there. Right, okay, so what do we want to do first? There are three things we can do. Do we want to go back to Balam and visit Pikachu's mum? Do we want to go to the Octahedron of Doom? Or do we want to go and meet the custard people? Because there are more custard people in the world, and we can go and see them. This has suddenly become an active draw-through. Cast your votes now. Sorry, I've just realised I put a loud coaster right underneath the microphone onto which I'm putting a glass, and it's just gonna make noise into the microphone. My apologies. I think it's taken about a minute for the messages to pop up. Oh dear, my word. It'd probably be good if you refresh now, I guess? Although it might take a while for you to get that message to refresh. Because that was largely on my end, so it should have sorted itself out. This is appropriate music. You vote mum, we're gonna go see Pikachu's mum. That's fine. I don't think I've drawn Pikachu's mum. She's not really relevant, but I can draw her. Why not? Okay. So let's get cracking. My setup's janky again. So much jank. Why is it? Oh, hang on. My chair needs adjusting. That's probably why. If one thing's off, it just throws the whole thing off, doesn't it? But I do need to move this slightly so that I can shift this along so I'm closer to the microphone. Hello, how you doing? Let's go meet Raichu. That Pikachu's mum, is it? Well, the way breeding works in Pokemon, it could be bloody anything. We have ourselves a nice bright colour so that you can see brighter than this. A little bit. Yeah, that'll do. Okay, I can actually start this by going back to a previous image from there, probably? Yes, here. This is the image I'm going to steal. Thank you, past me. Boom. Okay, so this is Balam. Remember, we narrowly avoided crashing into it when we first started flying, because it's the town right near where we live. Or where we used to live. Now we live anywhere. And we're floating our way back. Going to apologise for the near miss, as one will. Not really, the egg is the same species as the female in Pokemon. But also Pikachu is adopted, you guess. That's true. Does that mean TM? No, TM just looked after them. We have no idea who their parents are. Such is the nature of a war orphan, I guess. Hello! You weren't distracted by Temtem, you could prove nothing. Yes, I missed your stream earlier, I apologise. I say I apologise, I missed it because I was drawing things for you, but there we are. Yeah, so we are returning to the scene of the crime. Look, everyone can get levels, it's fine, don't worry about it. I don't really know what this thing looks like. I'm just gonna make it. It's a bit big. Do you know what I just remembered? There are aliens in this game. I just remembered that. Actually, now I say that out loud, of course there are. We'll get there. but what I actually mean is like little UFOs that fly around. That's a thing. I think there's an alien in it called Poo Poo or something. I don't know. No, item collecting and breeding. We were just talking about breeding. This is a terrible design. This is a hat. It is not a hat. It is a stack of pancakes. For you see, we are not the only one. We are not the only people who managed to ascertain that the space objects can fly. It turns out that the space pancake, what with it being the Galbadian garden, is now also known to fly because it is currently flying over Balam. And Balam has been taken over by the Galbadian army. Yes, they have taken the whole thing over. Because, I mean, they're looking for Dishonored Jesse, I guess. We still don't know why, but they are. Apparently Twitch acted on the bot right when you reported it, so that's probably why his account got new. Yeah, I went back in the VOD to see what that was all about, and there was nothing in chat, so that's a good sign. That is good, and that is a flying hat. It's like, okay, so here's the butter, right? And it's sort of dripping down the side, like that. That's what you do on pancakes, isn't it? Or like stacks of pancakes. I don't know. I only like... A pancake here is quite thin, so... And that wouldn't make for a very good chip. A pancake is more what is called a crepe, I think, elsewhere. You banned the bot in case it ever returned. Was there a lot of spamming and botting and such? No, my throat's all weird. Yeah, anyway, so Balam is now occupied territory. Much like Timber was. Do you remember Timber? Do you remember we were hired to go there and, relinquish it from the tyrannical control of the Galbadian army, and then we just sort of left and never mentioned it again? That's still there. Fun fact, that's never resolved either. Anyway. Does the space pancake also have an ancient secret base beneath it? Yes. All of the space objects, it turns out, the space schools, the gardens, to give them their proper name, they were all built on top of a pre-existing building built by the ancients. If ever you want a random bit of old technology in a Final Fantasy game, just say the ancients did it. Well, that's convenient. You're going to be saying this a lot. There is one particular point in this story where I want you to remember those words and shout them as loud as you possibly can. And I hope you recognize when it is. Because there are several times that that's appropriate, but there's one where it's like, oh god, really? Also, you're talking with a bard who was interested in Temtem, so you're giving your opinion, so they're going to be getting it. Ah, you're spreading the word of Tem. You're a bad influence. What else do you put on pancakes? I don't know. There's a lemon. Got a slice of lemon. Don't know why it's a slice of lemon. You just sort of lemon juice usually, but whatever. Right. Frame cut you out again. Actually, I haven't dropped any frames since, so I'm gonna blame Twitch for that one. Yeah, refresh if you're having issues with lag. There was a big spike of lag earlier. Seems to have cleared up now, but you never know. You never know. Twitch and Frameman are in league. I'm not necessarily sure about that. I think Frameman is just on, Frameman does what Frameman does, and if it occasionally lines up with someone else's interests, wonderful. But if not, they do what they do. Or a good one for devs doing a project they love and not doing crunch. Yay! Support small studios who actually look after their employees. Yay! Anywho, so we find the pancake. The pancake is now floating above Balam. There's a sentence. And let's see what's actually happening. So Balam is occupied. And we want to work out Why and unoccupy it, I guess. I don't really know why we do this, but we do. So we go there, and we know they're looking for Dishonored Jesse, because that's what they've been doing everywhere else. And we trick our way into getting into Balam by basically saying, you know, oh, we need to get in. And they say, no, you can't come in. This is occupied territory. And we say, oh, that's a shame. We're just going to have to find somewhere else to give our incredibly important information about the location of Dishonored Jesse. We'll evidently have to go elsewhere with this information. They're like, wait, hang on. You've got important information about Dishonored Jesse? We say, well, yeah, but we can't just say it to anyone, can we? They say, okay, all right. Go find the captain and the commander. They're somewhere around here. Go find them, and then we'll talk. That worked. Of course it worked. Everyone's an idiot. It's fine. But they were smart enough to go for one of the 3 cities in this world. You're not necessarily wrong, but at the same time, hold that thought. For like 3 streams. The oldest trick in the book, idiotic evil, guys. Absolutely. The only person in this story who is not an idiot is Jive. We know this. So yeah, we get to... Let's draw Pikachu's mum. Pikachu being happy to see his mum. Because she's fine and safe and dandy. It does mean I have to try and draw her now. So what I will say about this part of the game is you're supposed to do a kind of back and forthy fetch questy sort of thing, where you're running around and somebody says, oh, I need this, otherwise I can't move out of the way for you to get this thing, and so on and so forth. I will admit, I cannot remember at all what you actually do in that, and I can't remember that for several reasons. One, it's a complete waste of time. And there's no real point remembering any of it because none of it's relevant. But 2, and I think this is most important, I was watching a speedrun of this recently. Yeah, people speedrun games over the course of 14 hours, it's fine. I don't know what's going on with that arm. It's fine, don't worry about it. And I learned, and I probably already did this when I was younger without realizing I was doing it, but apparently, if you just run around in circles, basically, for long enough, the game realizes you don't know what you're doing and just skips you to the end of the fetch quest. So if you just walk backwards and forwards in this place without doing anything, the game just goes, oh, all right, we'll give it to you, and then skips you to the end of the quest. So I'm not really going to explain what actually happens here, because I can't remember. Because the last time I played it, I just did that. Which I think is one of the best features in a Final Fantasy game. I don't know about you, but I'm a big fan of that. Him be a happy. Oh, I think his mum's always cooking food or something, so yeah, that there's always like very nice smelling food around. So there's a big old pot. She still has a few little kids running around. Kid Pikachu. Pikachu's good. He's a bit of an idiot, but then so is everybody else in this story. Handkerchief thing going on in her head. I think she has... I can't really remember. So the thing you need to know about this game is that some characters have quite detailed textures and other characters are just blurred polygons. So it's kind of difficult to know who's a who, and what's a what, and who looks like anything. He has his mother's smile, which is weird because he's adopted. Yeah, she's definitely wearing an apron, I remember that. Aprons are a bit longer than that. How do hands work? Anyway, how's everybody's week going so far? I hope well. He's not more of an idiot than anyone else, and at least he's the cute kind of idiot. He is. He's good. He is. I believe I read up at one point the sort of the design ethos for this character was, hey, you know, protagonists in like boys anime, and they're always like overtly plucky and enthusiastic and idiots. Yeah, that was how we designed this character. We just did that. You've only had to work 2 days so far, so it's great. Wait, hang on, it's Tuesday. That's 2 out of 2. Your week's going good. Playing Temtem in Dark and drawing Chunk Lizard Dragons. Yeah, I saw that's now a trend. You also had a few hiccups, but it's going okay. Working on art and hiding away in Animal Crossing. I'm glad you have a hidey place. That's good. Your weeks start on Saturdays. I started this stream by saying how weird it was that some people start their weeks on Sundays. I don't know how I feel about that. She has many ladles. I imagine she's the sort of person who would just feed anybody anytime. Just like, oh, you look hungry, have soup. I'm not particularly hungry. Have soup. I like those people. Well, the same in your last place too. Business weeks are weird. Your work week also starts on a Saturday. Retail's strange. Is there like a massive influx on a Saturday that it's sort of like, well, if we prepare for that, then we can sort of call that the end of the week. And then the week starts on the big day. Drawing Chunky Lizard Dragons is fun. I'm sure it is. Sure, having a grand old time. Yeah. That is actually not a terrible drawing of what I imagine his mum looks like. Anyway, yeah, we get here and she explains what's happened, and they took over, and they're looking for this girl, and there's this commander and a captain, and we gotta find them, and all that sort of stuff. Apparently one of them likes fishing. Yeah, that's literally all I remember about it. Oh no, hang on, you're supposed to find a fish there's a cat that has a fish. I can't remember. Like I say, it's a weird fetch quest, it's not particularly important. Anyway, eventually, either by solving the problem or running backwards and forwards enough, you make your way to the hotel in Balam. Balam has a hotel. It's quite nice looking. Here's the music that accompanies the actual aliens in the game, but we'll get there. Not poo-poo, the weird ones. Here's a door. Circular windows. Can't remember particularly what it looks like. There's the fewest people on the normal people's weekends, which is fun. Really? That's interesting. So maybe it's the other way around. Maybe my logic was completely wrong. Never! My logic is impeccable. Many birds have tried, but none have succeeded. I'm gonna replace this with my cover version. Why am I drawing grass? I don't know. Aliens, we'll get there. You mean staff? We all the customers. What? Have all. Okay. Oh, fewest people. Oh, we have the fewest staff on the normal people's weekend. Okay, that makes more sense. I was gonna say. Didn't seem like it made an awful lot of sense to have the fewest people come in to shop on a weekend. It's just everyone assumes that the shop's going to be busiest on a weekend, so no one goes. Today's the first day of a 4-week-long lockdown here. Ooh. Well, I hope you have a relaxing lockdown time, hopefully. If that's, I don't know. I don't know how people react to these things. Today's just not a good day for you to communicate. Well, I understood that, so... The one thing I understood is how you despair at how bad you can communicate. Right. So, yes, things. We get to the hotel, and we find the captain! Yes, we do, with a couple of soldiers. So let's just draw. I haven't drawn Simon yet, so... That's all I need to do, really, isn't it? I mean, you don't mind the lockdown, you're just honestly surprised they went for a lockdown, which really shows how much you trust the Dutch government. Can't wait for the buses to shut down and you not to have to go to work. Fingers crossed. Okay. So, before I actually get round to drawing the captain, what I will tell you is that the captain is a character we've already met. And I want you to guess who it is. It's not Jive. I wouldn't that be amazing if Jive was secretly actually a Galbadian captain this whole time? No, I'm not going to distrust Jive. Germany's gone into lockdown as well, so you have to, otherwise they're going to come here. That was the fun thing with our lockdown, in inverted commas, was everyone just went to the places where there wasn't a lockdown. It's like, that's not really a lockdown, is it? It's more of a kind of let free. Kyle, that is a good guess, but also wrong. I'll give you a bit of an extra hint. There was a captain and a commander here. So there are two, and we know both of them. Yeah, so we've got a couple of soldiers just sort of standing guard here. Got so many folks staying up here until lockdown was over. Two characters we already know in the Galbadian army. Who could they possibly be? Jesse and Jesse, grumpy and white. Good guess. Alright. I think the game... I've never really thought about this. I think the game actually, throughout this whole sequence, is trying to get you to believe, oh, it's gonna be them. It's gonna be Grumpy and White. Because I think the word captain in the speech bubbles is written in red, and captain's written in blue, and the commander's written in red. And one of them's in a blue uniform, one of them's in a red uniform. So they're probably trying to get you to think that, but no, it's a bait and switch. It's not them at all. Which one of them's in charge, captain or the commander? I guess the commander. Just going by rank. Team Rocket? Oh, if only. Hooray for symmetrical designs. Harumph for previously drawn doorways. There we go. That's not how doors work. Not entirely sure that's how doors work either, but don't worry about it. This does look a little bit like the house from SpongeBob. It's a very sensible way of doing, you were looking up military ranks and there's so many varying orders. I don't know. I mean, we can make it up. Oops. Captain likes fishing. I haven't even finished drawing them yet. What are they doing here? That's a very good question. What do you think they're doing here? Can't remember where I drew them. It's been so long. How did I draw them? Yeah, I need to reference my own material here. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Hey Jenny. The first stream? No wonder I don't remember. It was like 12 weeks ago. Oh yeah, there they are. Okay. Yeah, I got it. It's the Non-Binarity. Yes, it is. Why they're not at the Space Potato? How did they get here? It's a good question. We have met them once since then, to be fair. If you recall, we met them in the Space Pancake just before we got the orders to do the assassination, because they were looking for Kyle, who at the time we assumed had been executed, but it turns out he's just, you know, with the sorceress now. Because they are a posse, you know? They're a group, they're a bunch of friends. And what would a posse do when they find out that their friend is now working for the sorceress, but follow and become part of the enemy team? Because they're friends and they want to stay together. When I say that, he just wanted to go fishing. It's fine. He's going to catch a faster Tokalon. So yeah, they're now part of the enemy team because they're friends with Kyle. I think he's wearing shorts. Not a too dissimilar costume from Pikachu, to be honest. Posse life is for life. They're a posse. I'm not entirely sure what the word posse means. I've only heard it in this context. Oh. Frame Man doesn't like the posse. What are you doing? How absolutely dare you? Yeah, you can tell their heart's not really in it as you know, enemy combatants or insurgents. They do fight you, but they fight you sort of out of convenience. There's just, we should probably do that, shouldn't we? Oh yeah. We were told that if we found you, we should probably fight you. Battle flute. You expected better from the non-binarity? It does what they does. Best friends forever, even through traitorousness. Yeah, and they say to you something, you know, they say like, "Oh, by the way, don't tell us our friend's dead. He's very much alive, thank you very much. That was not chill of you." And then the other one says, no, hang on. What's the opposite of chill? Unchill! Because one of them speaks entirely in single words shouted. So Team Rocket then, I mean, I guess James has definitely got a bit of a non-binary thing going on, but it was less offensive than Gang and was given an almost romantic air to it. Oh, Gang is popularized in the Wild West. Oh, I see. Posse. Got it. Interesting. Wonder where it comes from. Anyway, so you have a fight. Over the course of the fight, you can get a new Pokemon. Oh yes. Not entirely sure how I'm going to draw this one. Sorry, we thought he was dead. That's not chill, yeah. Not chill. Oops. Enter is pretty close to delete. Why did I do that? I've got to draw the Pokemon. Okay, so Pokemon, how does this go? I don't even know what this is. If I'm gonna be honest. Kind of bird thing, but like not. I don't know. I never use it. It's weird. I think it's got like feathers coming out of his head or something. This is probably going to be the least accurate one I draw. Actually, no, that's not true. The last one's going to be the least accurate one I draw. But I'm sure you can forgive that one. This one, not so much. Frame Man, stop it. Down. Down, boy. So yeah, this thing's like a kind of... It's the sort of wind elemental one. But it's got like... It's got like these weird tubes. It just sort of sucks everything up and then blows things out of the tubes and... Actually, do they come forward, maybe? I think they come forward, hang on. Sort of, I think it might have like a big old... sort of puffer sack thing going on there, and then things go like... We just had this piece of music. Great man! Stop it! Anyway, I think you see now why, given last week's stream, you can understand now why I was drawing all of the Pokemon. It turns out they're actually significant to the plot. That is the entirety with which they are significant to the plot. Kind of. Tubes, I thought it was a scarf. No, it's a sort of, goes into like an air sac sort of thing. It's weird, I don't really know what it is. Then it just sort of sucks things up and blows them out. It's less unpleasant than Typhon from Final Fantasy VII, but not by much. It's unpleasant in a different way. Does it have legs? No, it does now. I think it has an arm. Quite buff by the looks of it. It was not intentional. Tail, why not? Buff tuber chicken. Didn't think you'd be drawing this today. You didn't think I'd be drawing. No one expected this. Nobody expects the Spanish Inquid chicken. The windy one. You hate the way that thing looks. It's yeah. I don't want to look up. I can't remember what it's called. Is it called Pandemona? Something like that? Do you know what? Honestly, not far off. I'm actually kind of surprised how accurate that was. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Not complaining. You left for 5 minutes and you come back to buff tuber chicken. Welcome. We sucked them out of the non-binarity who are here and now working for the enemy team. Because they're friends with Kyle. And Kyle is now working for the enemy team, having been brainwashed by a sorceress. These things happen. A dislocated shoulder. Look, you got to put the air sac somewhere. So yeah, that happens. And that's about it, really. Like you defeat them. They order the retreat because they're not really soldiers. They're still students, really. And they're way in over their depth. Way in over their head, way under their depth. Way around... Way down upon the Swanee River. And yeah, they order the retreat, the Space Pancake flies away, and Balam is no longer occupied. That was a lot easier than Timber, wasn't it? Non-binarity is now the tuber chicken. No. They had the tuber chicken in them. I think the eye patch one did. I don't think we ever gave them names. They're just the non-binarity. For a group called the Non-Binarity, it is odd that they are entirely defined as a pair. I always thought it looked very, very unpleasant to touch. Yeah. Yeah, I'll go with that. Don't want to know where any of its sacks are. I forgot. I'm not going to adjust the picture. Obviously, this is a draw-through. I can't use reference, but I believe the sack is like in the tail. It's a bit weird. Anyway, I did it with like a sack under its neck. It inhales enemies and blows them out. That's what it does. This is the exact music you want playing when I'm describing something like that. So yeah, the liberation of Balam is complete. Hooray! We should have done this before we went to the orphanage. Don't worry about it. How do you mod the streamer? It's not the first time you've asked that. And alas, I still have no answer. If only. Yeah. Sounds like hot air balloon sized, yeah. So we have saved Pikachu's mum. Hooray! That's what was important. I don't think we learn anything from this, apart from the fact, obviously, that Space Pancake can fly now. So we are on par with the military of Galbadia, excluding, obviously, the fact that they have a massive army and we don't. There's a hot air balloon sized. It's weird. It's strange. So that's that. I thought that would take longer, but I just kind of realised that there's not really a lot actually happens. As I don't really think, apart from the fact that you definitely now know that they're looking for Dishonored Jesse. That's about it. Yeah. So what do you want to do now? Do you want to go Custard or do you want to go Octahedron of Doom? I guess there's not really an awful lot in those either. Oh, we're halfway through the stream. Okay, maybe we will fill up this stream with this stuff. Lamp is also an opportunity, a possibility. Mediocrity. What? Like that wasn't clear before. I mean, yeah, the whole, you know, we're gonna burn your city down regardless of whether or not we find the person we're looking for thing in Fisherman's Horizon. Apparently that's not enough to get across the idea. Custard, lamp, custard lamp, lamap. Well, we have one person that says something other than lamp, so. Let's make lamp a bad word. I guess you're a mod, you could ban it. I don't think that works on other mods, though. So. Arguably, that would make things more likely for Dark to win. But, Custard, we've got 2 for Custard and 1 for Lamp. What a choice, though. You can have Custard, you can have Lamp, or you can have Octahedron. Fun fact, this game is where I learned what an Octahedron was, and it's now my favourite platonic solid. There you go. Or a D8, for those of you who are so inclined. You find you in the mod options. What was the word that was banned in Dark's chat you want to test it? Oh, wigged. Yeah. W-I-G-G-E-D. Yeah, there we go. Even that. Wait, hang on. It was... Can someone try that again, but without permitting it? So something like that. So apparently wigged is fine. Type like... Wiggy? Or... Still likely you had to approve they. Yes, Twitch is very anti-non-binary. Because there was... I want to check that there was... The reason why it banned it. I want to see. Is there a way of doing that? There's a problem, Dark being too efficient a mod. The forbidden pronoun! One cannot pronounce the forbidden pronoun. You know, I was trying to make a joke there about, like, you know, he who should not be named, but it's difficult to when you have to use a pronoun at the beginning of it. You know? Oh, there we go. Okay. No, that's different. Okay. So, okay. Yeah, it's offensive for a different reason. The original one, I think it said, this has been blocked. This reason has been blocked for identity or something. So that one was aggression, which I guess makes sense. That can be used in an unpleasant way. But the first one was like identity, so I think it is to do with wigs. I think it is actually to do with mocking somebody for wearing a wig or something. But the word wig is fine. It's just wigged isn't. Twitch, you're weird. Anyway, we had 2 votes for custard and 1 for lamp. No one likes the octahedron. What's wrong with the D8? Twitch chat will never understand. You are Twitch chat. It's auto-mod that's the problem. I probably said Twitch chat. I'm bad at speak. Twitch also decided the blind playthrough was offensive to people with sight problem. What other terminology could you use, I guess? I mean, going in blind is just a common expression. But does that mean you shouldn't use it? No. Stop zooming in on the tube of chicken and go to custard, man. Sentences. We got someone who emulates African American culture. Yeah, exactly, yeah. I remember that being a thing. Apparently there was a Nintendo did a post about Mario, a tweet, and they spelled the word wiggler wrong. And yeah, Twitter had a field day with that one. But I am aware of that nomenclature. But anywho, so custard men, I guess. So let's go to the Arctic, where the custard men live in a giant crab. Let me draw the giant crab. Like snowdrift. Get back to the high days of hip-hop. Back in the Vanilla Ice days. I was watching a thing about House of Pain. Those of you who are aware of the song Jump Around. It's a good song. But the history of House of Pain is actually really interesting. Because they're not far off. You wouldn't think it if you just saw the House of Pain Jump Around video. I think it looks like this. I remember. But they were pretty vanilla icy. I can't remember why that. I'm sure it looks a bit like this, and I don't know why. I think it's like little domes at the end or something. It's a weird design for a building. There's like sort of hexagonal windows or something. Again, none of this is explained. This is all optional. It's just a different culture that lives in the Arctic and they're made of custard. It's fine. The Spider Dome. They also have really very powerful magic in the lobby. So you keep going to the lobby and running around, waiting to be able to get more stuff from the lobby. And never actually do the side quest. You're just there to steal their... It's like, you know, going to a place just to have some of the hors d'oeuvres and then you leave and then come back and eat more hors d'oeuvres. But the hors d'oeuvres are, you know, capable of killing dragons. I do feel like I have to keep reminding people this is a fantasy game. Because really nothing about the story or setting or characters or plot really makes you think that. But every now and then you find a spider base in the Arctic and you're like, oh yeah. And then you fight a dragon, you're like, oh yeah. What about that? Somebody keeps coming back for free samples, yeah. All you can eat buffet. Right, anyway, we go to the lair of the custard people. Turns out they don't even live inside the crab, they live under the crab, they live deep underground. Which is inexplicably a really light place. Can't remember where the light comes from. Anyway, and they have like gardens and waterfalls and it's all very pleasant, and I can't draw that. So instead, what I'm going to draw is a statue. Because one thing about the culture of the custard people is that they are very, very enthusiastic about personal creativity and craft and making things and all that sort of stuff. There's like somebody in the village who really likes making like little model cars, and there's people who like sculpting and stuff. Everyone loves making things. This is a sculpture, I think it's made of clay or something. It's stones. There are stones involved. There's a fetch quest here, by the way. So just a quick reminder about the custard people. Norg was a custard person. And we learned something about their life cycle. Because apparently the life of a custard person is that you are born a custard person. Just a normal, average custard person. Or if you want to use the proper term, shumi. And at some point in your life, you will reach, depending on your deeds and your state of mind, you will evolve. And your deeds and your state of mind will determine into what form you evolve. The forms available are big old custard blob, like Norg. And that's a particularly greedy, avaricious form. Then there's, if you're very lucky, an elder, which is very wise, very important, and they are tall, thin custard men. And then there's Mumbas, the little orange rabbit tigers who we met, who all shouted Jimmy when we were being tortured. And they represent contentment, basically. Contentment and sort of, you know, being at one with nature and all that sort of stuff, returning to a kind of animalistic sort of way of being. So it's a bit of a strange culture compared to our own, what with the whole, you know, evolving thing. Cowbell. That was Pinches and Patches' theme. We will meet them again at some point. Not too far from now, I don't think. Few streams. One of those things is not like the others. Indeed. So yeah, we get to the land of the custard people, and we see people who need helping out, and we see somebody who's working on a sculpture, and we decide to give them a little bit of a hand. partly because one of the Moombas runs up to you and runs up to Simon and starts calling him Jimmy again. This is a thing, apparently. I guess I can go into a bit about that now, kind of ish. A lot of things are sort of revealed slowly over the course of the game, and I never remember where. Let's draw the custard person. Can't remember how I drew them. Fortunately for me, most things that are strange in this game wear robes, so... There he is. Big floppy ears. No long fingers. So yeah, we've got sculptors working on his sculptures, and he needs you to collect some rocks for the purposes of working with the sculpture. Meanwhile, a Moomba is coming up to you and constantly shouting Jimmy, because it wants to. Coincidentally, though, purely coincidentally, the custard person is working on a statue of Jimmy. Isn't that weird? There's the Jimmy. Now, why is he working on a statue of Jimmy? Turns out, if you remember from the last dream we had, Jimmy said that he was interested in going off and travelling the world. And he wanted to be like a travel journalist and see the sights and all these sorts of things. Turns out he managed to do that, and he came here. And he helped them all out. Turns out he was a really nice person, because the custard people are really big on your, you know, not judging you, but like, you know, rating your worth by your sort of kindness and your openness and enthusiasm to help and all that sort of stuff. They took a shine to him. So he's making a statue of him. He's a good person. Judging you. Yeah, but like, not in a kind of you're terrible so I hate you way, but in a kind of you're really nice so I'm going to make a statue for you kind of way. You know, which is better than our system, which is you have a lot of money so I'm going to make a statue of you. So yeah, we go on a fetch quest to get rocks for the purposes of helping build this statue, I think. Something like that. There's a few things that happen here. Same spectrum, opposite ends. I guess it's a similar sort of thing. I wouldn't say this society is... I don't want to draw a face like that. I wouldn't say this society is perfect, as is evidenced by the end of this fetch quest, which we will get to. But yeah, a couple of other things you learn is, and this is slightly weird, let's see if I can remember how I drew a Moomba. Oh, that wasn't it. Yeah, so something else we learn about the local fauna is Moombas are capable of recognizing people from the smell of their blood, which is a bit weird. But hey, who am I to judge? As a consequence, when we come in here, people are assume that we are Jimmy, and then they look at us and go, oh, that's not Jimmy. Little fluffy vampires. They're strange little friends. bit big for a mumba. The body's a bit big. It's probably the right size. So yeah, they can recognize people by smelling their blood. Our blood is the same as Jimmy's? Who knows? No is the answer, but hey, are we a clone? Look, have you seen... Hang on, I'm going to finish drawing Simon. And then I want you to tell me whether or not you think we're a clone. I say I'm going to draw Simon. I'm going to try and draw Simon. Look at those electric personalities. Is Jimmy our dad? Well, that's something we'll never know. We're an orphan. How could we possibly know who our father is? We'd need some sort of DNA test. Anyway, so we do this fetch quest. For the purposes of seeing the elder of the community or whatever, something like that. And what happens here that's interesting? I'm not going to draw it, but I'm interested in just sort of showing you the environment because I really like the look of the place. In this game, is it wrong for me to show you a picture from the game during a draw through? It's like something out of Mist. Yeah, I should probably not. I won't show you. Anyway, it's nice. DNA test, like getting your blood sniffed by people who can recognize people from their blood. That's crazy. We don't have anything like that at all. Sure. Oh, okay. Gotta type it in again. Obviously it's very low res because it's an old game, but it's kind of like that. And it's got this sort of, I don't know, there's something just kind of nice about it. And there's lots of bushes and trees, and I don't know how all this exists underground, but it does. And it's just sort of nice. There's a pond, it's got frogs in it. Great. Yeah, you don't really get the sort of full feel until you sort of run around and see everything, but you get the idea. He'd live there, I'd live there. Of all the places in this game, Dollet or there, probably. 10 out of 10 pond. I don't think there's a pond in Dollet, but there is a dog by a fountain, so... The inside of the buildings are a bit weirder. That's not... A bit more futuristic, but... Whatever. Anyway, enough of that. Yeah, so we Covet's not the word, is it? We caught the favor? Was that what you do with favor? You caught it? Caught the favor? Hang on. No. There's a shirt I've been meaning to sew up, and it's been on the back of my chair for like a week. And I've just realised that it's there and digging into my back. Anyway, well, the buttons were obviously a shirt's not going to do much. So, yeah, we get to meet the elder. We get to meet the elder of the tribe, who I'm going to draw here because we're about as impressed as we are with the elder. The elder is a big custard. You have a nose? No, I think it's just how big it is. A little mouth. You might have a hat. He's very tall. And he says, "Thank you for helping our people. As a consequence, we shall give you a token of our gratitude." And he extends out his hand, which is absolutely massive, so I'm going to have to bring him back. With another lamp! No. And he opens his hand, and he gives us our reward. And there is absolutely nothing in his hand. And we are, understandably, relatively perplexed. Going to assume the other hand's underneath this massive sleeve. To which his assistant, who is here and who is not a massive-handed, well, is a relatively large hand. Did Dishonored Jesse come from this tribe? I don't know. His assistant, or their assistant, I guess. You gonna say she did? Who did what? Oh, right, yeah. Sorry, I forget everything as soon as I say it. He points out, no, you see, in our tribe, the honor of seeing the palms of the elder's hands is a great honor indeed. You are truly blessed to have been offered this fantastic opportunity, and you shall consider yourself among the favored of the tribe. And we can either, at this point, be a little indignant, or just leave. Look at my hand. My hand is amazing. Give it a lick. Ooh, it tastes like custard. Let's just leave. That's absolutely fine. You then leave. About 10 seconds after you leave, the assistant turns to the elder and goes, I don't think they fell for it. And the elder goes, yeah, no, I don't think so either. Get the people at the entrance to give them like a gift on the way out, then they won't complain. Why is that drawing? What? Why? What why? Drawing? Have I inadvertently drawn something horrible? I mean, I've drawn the massive hand, I know that. That's just the thing. Anyway, yeah, basically it turns out they were trying to con you. They're trying to get you to do work without giving you anything. Oh, you looked up. Oh, I see. Well, welcome to the elder of the custard people. And his assistant. Just looked up for me game. That's fair enough. There's the custard people. Is this better or worse than Nog? I'm kind of annoyed I didn't do a close-up of Norg. Because Norg is a weird, blobby, angry man. But yes, you have seen the palm of the elder. Anyway, the point here being is that we're supposed to come here and think, oh, this magical, mystical tribe of people, and they have their own way of dealing with things and their customs, and we are to be honoured to be included in their customs, and it turns out they're just trying to con you. So yeah. That's why I said, hey, maybe their customs aren't quite so, you know, innocent and pure. But, yeah. That's basically the custard people. There's a couple of reasons I explained that, and I'm sure you can guess what they are, but I'm not going to tell. Yeah. So that leaves... Nog is like that fish that turns ugly when you take it out of water because, you know, horrible pressure death. Yes, the blobfish. Poor thing. Yeah. If you've ever seen a blobfish actually in the water where it's supposed to be, and then you look at the blobfish picture that people know, you're like, yeah, don't bring it out of the water. He does look a bit like that. He looks like if custard was supposed to exist at 5,000 leagues under the sea, you know? Once you found that out, your heart broke. Yeah, it was a sad day. You're like, haha, funny fish, ha ha ha. Oh no. Oh no. Gives the sadness all that more melancholy. Right, are we going to go to the octahedron or are we going to rub a lamp? D8 or D-lamp? Now you can't look at blobfish pictures without getting teary-eyed because you think of all the pain there must have been. Yeah. Well, I'm going under the assumption that they may have been dead before they were brought up, but I don't know. Go visit the D8. D8. No lamp. One of the few deep sea fish that aren't nightmare fuel. At least in the deep sea. They're not that deep, are they? It's just... It's enough. It's enough for evolution to not think, what if we had a bit more structural support here? To the D8. Now. The D8 is just in the middle of this sort of rocky, deserty continent. And it's just a big old octahedron. That's just sort of... like that, probably a bit wider, actually. I've realised I've drawn this in such a way as you don't know precisely which way's forward, so... let's get in some clear demarcation points. This is... I can't remember what this place is actually called. I just know it the octahedra. It's like the Palace of the Cetra or something. I don't know. Castle of the octahedron of the Cetra. It's a place of the ancients, basically. Cetra are usually the name of the ancients in these games. But it's just kind of in the middle of nowhere. That's a horrible path. Come on, you can do better than that. Nope. Big old thing. God, okay guys, what if I make a fish, but it's just teeth? Yeah, and in it is a kind of sort of castle thing, I guess? Like a spire and... it's kind of halfway towards being an interesting design. There's like staircases leading up it and these sorts of things. And there's like some staircases that go up here and then they work their way sort of up towards the thing and they're just sort of weird and floaty and strange. Anyway, a couple of things you can do here. The first thing that happens when you come here is that a countdown starts. The countdown lasts about half an hour. I don't know if it tells you what the countdown's all about, but generally speaking, you've got to get to the top and you've got to deal with the top before the countdown runs out. I can't remember what happens if you don't. You probably die. But yeah, it's the scary times. This probably should be like that for perspective reasons. Oh, I remember there's like a kind of thing that goes down here and another platform here, the kind of thing, like its own little sort of mini bit there. Staircases go up and then there's this platform that rises up through there, and it doesn't particularly matter, but I'm drawing it, so there we are. There's a place of Doink. Before we get to Doink, we have to get to Gunge. So the sentences I say in these draw-throughs, I don't know. Better draw fast then, there's 30 minutes left. Oh no! Okay, so the basic idea. All hail King Doinik. So, first thing, is the thing at the top. The thing at the top is, I've just realized, didn't plan this one out very well, did I? Is another Pokemon, kind of. Well, yeah, I guess there are gods in Pokemon, aren't there? So one of the summons that often crops up in Final Fantasy games for some reason is Odin, and he's just here. He's just sort of hanging around. I'm going to draw him with an eye patch because I know Odin only has one eye. Don't think that's true in the game, but hey, here we are. Arceus? No, so, well, you can call him Arceus if you want. And he has his, does he have a lance in this? So there's a bit of a mistranslation. I think this is in Final Fantasy VII rather than 8. But I believe Odin's sword or lance or something is called, like, Gungnir or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it is. He's on his horse with a stick. Okay, cool. And in Final Fantasy VII, they just call it Gunge Lance. I don't know why. So that's where the Gunge comes from. I don't know if he does that in this. Let me give him a big old nose. And a beard. Why not? I don't think he's got a beard, but he has now. I imagine Odin has a beard. This looks nothing like the Odin in the game, don't worry about it. It's fine. But the reason I was concerned is because I've just remembered that Odin is usually depicted on a 6-legged horse. So, yay for me. Sword is just really big. That's what I thought, because reasons. Which will come into play later. Yeah, the horse has 6 legs. Sleipnir, yeah. So he's got a big sword. Go up there, it's fine. Right. So here's the question. Since it has 6 legs, do I draw it like an insect? Or do I try and do this He's probably gonna have the same horns. They got matching horns. Yeah. Odin's sword is like legendary or something. So in these games, that's a moose. In these games, Odin is like a really special Pokemon summon because it has its move. Sometimes it fluctuates. Sometimes you get the good one. Sometimes you don't get the good one. But the good one is just an instant kill. And I believe it's called Zantetsuken in this. No, that's the... No, it's not. That's the... That's Simon's Limit. What's it called? No, that is Zantetsuken. Is it Zantetsuken? Preferably not Insect Horse? No, that's not fun. Zantetsuken is the timer, and the timer is before he uses it. Oh, okay, so he's gonna kill you in one hit, unless you get up to the top as soon as possible. So yeah, what's Simon's Limit called? I've forgotten what it's called. It's something like that, isn't it? Legs look like a panto. Look, it's been over a year since Jockeytober. Do you think I've learned anything or remembered anything since then? Just be thankful Oobs isn't here. We're fine. If you complain once more, we're going to go for the insect route. There's the Gunge. Renzo Kukin.
I'm complaining once more.
He's got a peg leg.
I have regrets.
Make it fluffy.
Spider horse does whatever a spider horse does.
Yeah. Well, what other leg can we have? Bad leg? Fantastic. Anyway, there's Odin and the legendary horse Sleipnir. Sleipnir? And his big old sword. If you get to the top in 30 minutes and defeat him, he literally doesn't attack you in the fight. You just have 30 minutes to do the whole thing. So yeah, if you get to the top and do that, he'll become one of your Pokemon. Hooray! You got a Pokemon, but there's another Pokemon to get here. Yes, there is. There's another Pokemon. The secret Pokemon. Shh, don't tell anyone.
Sleipnir.
Sleipnir. Sleep near, sleep far, wherever you are. You like under the icy Arctic waters, for example. just an example. You don't have to. Who's that Pokemon? Well, strictly speaking, this isn't the Pokemon. Well, it kind of is. So this, as those of you who know me may know, is an Tonberry. Yes, my favorite enemies in these games, because they're cute and they're creepy. And they kill you in one hit with their knife. And they do damage proportional to how many things you've killed. They are karmic. But is in this game, is their move called Karma, or is it called like Everyone's Grudge? Boink! Now, here's the downside of this. You can get this as a Pokemon. Unfortunately, you do have to defeat, I think I'm right in saying, 20 Tonberries. In single combat, and they have a lot of health. These things are very powerful. Oh wait, Octahedron, budge over. I've got Tonberries to count. So you have to kill. Is it 20 to 50? I thought it was just 20. You have to kill a lot of them, and they take a while. But once you've done that, the King Tonberry appears. Oh yes, and he's bigger than the rest of them. And then you fight him, and then he shrinks, and becomes your friend. And then you get the possibility of having Tonberry friend. Tonberry Pokemon. Hooray! Best game. The only reason I played this game. I don't think you can do that. Oh, no. I think you can get Tonberry as a summon in 5 or 6. Can't remember if they're called Dingleberry or not. But, yeah. So that's the Octahedron of Doom. It has Sleipnir, the almost six-legged horse, kind of. It's mostly a horse. And Odin riding on the top of it. And you can get Odin, who can instantly kill enemies with their big old sword. And that is something you need to remember for the purposes of the story. Then you can also kill a lot of Tonberries for the purposes of getting a pet Tonberry, which feels like a bit of a bad trade. But you get a Tonberry, so there you go. We do not yet have the capabilities of getting any more of the optional Pokemon at this point. There are 3 more I think you can get elsewhere, depending on certain things. Everyone's Grudge, Chef's Knife is the Tonberry move. Yeah, Everyone's Grudge. Fun fact, if anybody knows my old music, I made a song called 1000 Needles. It's a weird song. And I managed to slip in a reference to bombs, cactuars, and Tonberries in that song. Even though it's got nothing to do with any of those, and Everyone's Grudge is part of the lyrics of that song. As long as you get a friend at the end, yes. As long as you get a friend at the end, you can kill as many Tonberries as you like. My assumption is, because they have control of the spirits of the dead, is that they never really die. Because they can always come back as a spirit through the lantern of another Tonberry and then get reincarnated as a new Tonberry. That's just how the Tonberry society goes. They are eternal and infinite, and they will doink you with their knife. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, when they poke you with a knife, Chef's Knife, I believe the move is called. I don't, in this game, the summon is not an instant kill. The enemy might be, I'm not sure. It's been a while since I've been stabbed by one. But literally a speech or a bubble comes up, an action bubble with the word doink in it whenever it pokes you. And it's like, doink, dead. So that's the thing. They are God. They are beyond God. I love any enemy in a game that is just implicitly meta. Like, you get a lot of, fourth wall breaking characters and all that sort of stuff. But the Tombury's, like, it just nonchalantly goes, right, how many enemies have you killed in the game? Right, that's how much damage I'm dealing. Deal with the consequences of your actions. Like, I love it. There's 20 damage times the number of enemies the character's killed, so if you grind, it can just be instant death. Yeah. Unfortunately, Final Fantasy VIII is, as I've mentioned before, there is no benefit to grinding, so they're probably not actually that dangerous. Also, you can just kill them by having Pikachu punch them in the face for 5 minutes. That's what I do anyway. So, yeah. So that's that. We've done the optional stuff. Hooray! There's probably more. I've already mentioned the alien. I don't really remember that side quest because I don't think it's particularly important. Oh, do you know what? Can we go to Win Hill? Is that a thing we can do now? I don't know how much information is in Win Hill. It might be worth doing that. I don't think we can find... No, because that's an ending thing. We probably shouldn't do that now. That comes up in the end cutscene. I mean, I can briefly mention it while I'm drawing the next thing. So I'm going to draw something completely unrelated to what I'm talking about. So you can go to a town called Win Hill. It's kind of in the middle of nowhere. And it turns out to be the town that Jimmy stayed at and was recuperated at back in the last dream. Was it the last dream or the dream before last? I can't remember exactly which. Simon Friends is also really good at them. I mean, if we ever meet them, who knows? So yeah, we go back there. This is the place where Jessica was and little baby Dishonored Jessie. And we find out that neither of them are there anymore. That makes sense that Dishonored Jessie isn't there because she was taken away by Seed, but neither is Jessica. And the townsfolk talk about, Jessica's sort of decline after Jimmy. Names. After Jimmy left, because Jimmy eventually left to become travel writer, as we have learned, and explore the world and all that sort of stuff. He finally sort of followed those impulses. Followed through, that's probably what I was looking for. And Jessica was very sad at that, and she became ill quite quickly. Oh no, that was it. He was also he left to travel, but I think he also left. I don't know if he left to look for Dishonored Jessie, but apparently Dishonored Jessie was something he was looking for because she had gone somewhere or she had been taken somewhere. So that was another reason he went out. I'm pretty sure that's a thing. We'll get to that. Don't worry about that. But either way, unfortunately, while everybody was away, Jessica fell ill. The number one fictional women killer strikes again. Sadness. No. And she may or may not have been inexplicably pregnant at the time. Probably not that inexplicably, but these things happen. Eventually, presumably, the kid was given up to an orphanage or something like that. But yeah, so that was a sad thing. And he never came back. ... indeed. But why, you might ask, did he never come back? Next time, on the Final Fantasy VIII Drawthrough. We will not answer that question because a lot of things are going to happen next time, but we'll get to that. No, instead, what we decide to do, because I guess it makes sense, hey, we've all just remembered that there's this orphanage, right, that we all went to. How about we go and visit the orphanage? Maybe there's some information there. But wait, there's more, is it? Probably. Lose track of these things. Is it to do with no? Did we learn that yet? We probably don't learn that there. We probably should have learned it during the last dream, to be honest. But I'll just mention that now. I can't really work out how else to segue it in. So during the last stream, when Jen, when Jen visits Jimmy in Win Hill, and, you know, it's talking about the outside world and the things that have happened, you know, Jim's working as a janitor and all these sorts of things. Turns out, do you remember that little very, very brief fling that he had with the piano player? No? Turns out she actually did do what he suggested, and she became a famous singer as well. She actually finally started singing, which she was very nervous about, but he said, no, you should do it. And she had a song called Eyes on Me, which was very popular and famous. She's also now happily married, which is great. But she wrote the song Eyes on Me about somebody who she fell in love with, who had to go to war and never came back again. And Jimmy, being the idiot he is, was like, oh, well, that's a sad story. Well, so long as she's happy. A fling where she wanted to have sex and he rambled about being a writer for a while and they both parted ways. Yep, that's about right. Yeah, so it's one of those things, you know. This song, this is the Dance with the Balam Fish. Yeah, so she wrote that song and she's, you know. But she's happily married to a Galbadian general, no less. Called it something Errol, can't remember. But yeah, so she's doing all right. But you know, that's a love that will never be requited because they're now far apart. You know what happens every time you try for a fling? Standard stuff. You have to go to war. It's terrible. Speaking of war, guess who's already here? That's right. I can't remember when this music plays in the game. I mean, I'm pretty sure it happens during the dance, but I think it plays somewhere else as well. Santa? No, this is not a hat, this is butter. I've drawn a lot of drippy looking things today. So yes, we arrive at the orphanarium, and we discover that the space pancake is already there, and they're waiting for us. But we know. And Simon correctly ascertains that, given that he's now leader of this military school, that he has to make a call as to whether or not to, you know, plunge headlong into an actual war with another flying school. another military academy, or not. And he decides, I mean, we've got to kill the person who looked after us, haven't we? So we better do it. Again, not entirely sure where the logic for this is coming from, but whatever. It's probably a bit big. Let's get the perspective side. That's probably a bit small now. A bit of foreshortening wouldn't go amiss. Yeah, so Simon says Simon has to give a speech to the entire school. Teenager's nightmare. And he has to tell them that hard times are ahead. And we're about to go to war. And they are vastly superior in all military might. They have armies that spread throughout the entire world. And we have some kids in uniforms pretending to hit people with swords. So it's probably not going to end well. But we've got to kill the person who looked after us as a kid. So we're going to plunge headlong into a fight, and we need to give the right rousing speech to get everyone ready for this. And we have various options as to what to say. We can say, for example, all of the older students look after the younger ones, make sure they don't get hurt. We can say, barricade up the front entrance, or barricade up all entrances that we're not going to go out of, so that obviously they can't come in. We can say, go into the library and make sure the books don't all fall over. We can say, make sure we're all stocked up on hot dogs, because people are going to want hot dogs. We can say nothing at all. Basically, we have a bunch of sensible things to say and a bunch of not particularly good things to say, and regardless of what we say, as far as I can tell, I'm not sure this is entirely accurate, but this is my experience with the game. Regardless of how sensible or concrete or whatever you think what you're going to say is, someone will complain that you didn't do it properly. you stop doing the speech, you come out and you're like, okay, we're going to go to war, and someone comes up to you and says, well, you didn't say this very well, did you? Why didn't you mention this, eh? Eh? You don't care about that? Eh? Which I think is not the kind of thing that should be said at this point. I think it's the doctor. I think she does. Yeah, so we're gonna get ready for war. Now there's only a couple of minutes left. I don't really want to plunge into a war just yet, so we're probably gonna end it here. Yeah, we're gonna fight. We're gonna mid-air space potato versus pancake fight. A lot of stuff happens in this, including flying motorcycles and keychains, ice rinks, three-headed dogs. Lots of things happen. Look forward to that next week. The madness will continue. I'd like to think that this was a relatively sensible stream. It probably wasn't, what with the custard men, and that horse. But other than that, being in charge, you can never do the right thing. You can never make everybody happy. These things happen. I'm going to war. I'm 12 and in charge of my school. My probable dad is a dumbass loved by custard people, and the person in charge of the orphanage is a murderer. I have enough to deal with. I'm probably going to say this for every stream subsequent to this, but do you understand why people think that Simon died at the end of Disc 1 and everything subsequent has been a fever dream? Does that make sense to you now? Because it's only going to get weirder. Yes, you get it. It's just, I don't know, it's like the worst indictment of your story that people have come up with a theory that most of it is nonsense because it's supposed to be nonsense, and that people prefer that to what you actually wrote. Like, and the test is tomorrow! Oh dear. I wouldn't mind if the story was all about, finding, becoming an individual and making your own decisions, but literally the last thing you do in this game is take orders. So, you're back to square one. Anyway, we'll get to that. Am I still required to take the test when I'm headmaster? I don't know. I'm the one who has the final say on the grade, so I got an A regardless of what I write. Also, we're renaming Seed. Yeah, so it's exciting times. There's a lot going to happen next time. Almost at the end of disc 2. And there we are. There's 4 discs in this, but the last disc is just the last dungeon, so we're kind of 2/3 of the way, I guess. Someone more like this calling out all the dumb stuff. If there was somebody in this game calling out the dumb stuff, they would leave the game quickly. Like 10 times as many tests. Yeah, you don't get tests, but you get a lot of paperwork. You have to do a lot of meetings, you got to have a lot of reviews. You never really stop being tested in academia, whether or not you're at the bottom or at the top. There's dumb stuff to go. There's so much dumb stuff to go. There's some dumb stuff next time. After that's going to be some dumb character stuff. Then there's going to be some dumb story stuff. Then there's going to be some really dumb story stuff. Then some also pretty quite just weird, like what is even happening now stuff. And then the game ends. That's pretty much a description of the rest of the game. Hope you're looking forward to it. Yeah. So. So a quick gauge of interest. This is entirely by the by. Usually what we do with Drawthroughs is we do like a passive one, i.e. Final Fantasy, Metal Gear Solid, what have you, a game that exists, and I draw through it and I talk and whatever. And then after that, we do an active one, where you guys play a choose your own adventure book game or something like that. Oh, speaking of Metal Gear Solid. And you play it and I draw and all that sort of stuff. And then we alternate backwards and forwards through that. So just gauging interest, because I was working on some stuff today. After we've done 8, would you be interested, would you want to do another choose your own adventure book, hopefully a better one than Citadel of Chaos? Or would you want to try something different? Because I have an idea for something different, which might be risky in the sense of it might be an absolute car crash, but it might be really fun. I don't know. Or would you want to play it safe and do another book? Because the other idea requires a bit of preparation. I wanted to make my own choose your own adventure story, and we do that. But that requires a lot more time. Can't be more of a car crash than FFVIII, am I right? I mean, it can be. It'd be cool with something different. I just wanted, I wanted to run past the idea. If people are really attached to the, it will be interactive. It won't be like the, it won't be me just explaining story though. If anything, it's more interactive than the previous ideas and things like that. But I just wanted to know whether or not you guys were interested in doing that, or going back to a fighting fantasy book or what have you. It doesn't have to be fighting fantasy. We can find something else. But yeah. Well, look, ticker sheets are available. I planned that well, didn't I? So that's a thing. We still haven't rubbed that lamp, have we? So yes. So yeah. I forgot that was the thing I said. Thank you for coming along. Hope Frame wasn't too horrible for you. Now for something completely different. Boom. You're waiting to the very end for the lamp. Well, bear in mind, you're going to have to do it before we get to the final boss, because once you get to the final boss, you can't do anything. And we'll never know what it was. That's your vote? Fair enough. Frame behaved himself in the second half of the stream. He got there. Was that after I shouted at him like a dog? Down, Frame Man, down! Yeah, okay, so we might do something different. And it will be an interactive thing to whatever extent you guys want it to be. Because I think the one of the downsides of the Final Fantasy things is that I can't progress without input from you guys, and this idea I can, but the more input I get from you guys, the better, if that makes sense. So, would have been useful against Doink King. We got there in the end. Turns out it's a lot easier with Control C and Control V than it is with left X, down up, triangle X, left X, down up, triangle X, or whatever it is. Pikachu has like a combo system for his limit, and if you're good at it, you can just make it go on forever. You just do like 3,000 damage, 4,000 damage, 2,000 damage, 3,000 damage, 4,000 damage, 2,000 damage for like 10 minutes. Yeah. What am I talking about? Tomorrow is Hitman. Possibly last Hitman stream. Probably the last Hitman stream, to be honest, because we've only got 2 more bonus missions to do. And yeah. We're gonna do the bonus one in Bangkok, I think it is. And then go and do the Christmas one. Because there's a Christmas one in Paris, apparently. And that will probably be the end of our Hitman through. And then we'll have to find something else to play. And some space on my computer in which to install it. Because I'm still playing Hitman in my spare time. Hitman's good. I may have to move Hitman to my hard drive rather than my SSD. Which means it's going to take bloody ages to load. Blood Money's on Steam, you want to try that next? Well, given that in half a month's time, we're going to start playing exclusively games where the main game mechanic is non-violent, probably not. But thank you for the suggestion anyway. I'm trying to work out games that are like really violent to end the year on, just as a kind of big palate cleanser. And like get it all out of our system. I already know what the first game is I'm going to play in the next year, because it's like the exact opposite of that. But yeah, it's less about the violence and more just about different game mechanics. I bought Invisible Ink today because it was on sale for like £3 on GOG. And that seems like an interesting. You can because that's all about like spying and stuff, and you can knock guards out in that. But I think the basic idea is trying to avoid combat. So we might have a go at that. It's all accidents, not violence. Yeah, but is it anything? If it's anything like normal Hitman, where you have to knock people out to get their disguises, which is, as far as I'm concerned, the main mechanic in the game. You know, I'm not a suit only kind of guy. I like the disguises, the disguises. Nope. Ah well, maybe we'll never know. Could easily do it suit only and have. I don't like the suit only stuff. I don't know. The thing I like about the game is the disguises. And the, doing it quickly and getting it at the right time and making sure you can get people away from other people to knock them out, to put the clothes on. That's all the stuff. That's why, I know I'm never going to get 100% on Hitman. And I'm kind of glad that they give you 20 out of 20 if you do a lot of the things, but not all of them. Because I'm just never going to do suit only. Because it takes the fun out of the game for me. I know people who really like working out exactly the right way to do suit only and not be seen and all that sort of stuff. But according to my bot, Dark Sun Rebel left, said 3 things, and then came back. Weird. Yeah. Anyway, last Hitman tomorrow, and I can stop using this janky computer setup. I'm also going to try and change OBS so that it's natively running at 780p rather than 1080, 720p rather than 1080. Because I'm streaming at 720. I don't know why I'm not running at 720. That will probably help with the whole Freeman thing. You are an enigma. Yes, you and Miss. It's the mods, I think. I think that sword makes you mysterious. So yeah. Thank you for coming along. For those of you who support me on Patreon, I posted an update yesterday containing a bunch of stuff that happened over the last couple of weeks. If you're on the Discord, the Patreon Discord, there's a new piece of music which I will probably play at the beginning of next stream, because why not? I need to mix it, actually. The guitars are a bit loud, and the drums are probably a bit loud as well. Edward Nigma, the worst name in comic book history? Wow. Not entirely sure that's right. You've been adjusting your stream to set up to abolish jank. Yeah, that's the you too. I know what you meant. Worse than Pepper Pot. Yeah, it's like, as I said that, I thought there are countless examples that are worse than this. Like, it's bad. I'm not to say that it's not the worst is not to give it a compliment. It's to insult the rest. So yeah, I don't know. Can we, like, I just thought of it. How in depth do you reckon we could do a Fool's AU of this game once we finished the Drawthrough? Because there are so many ideas I have to make this game better. I think it was the last update because loads of your settings were back to default. I haven't updated recently. It recently told me that there was a new update. And there was a feature on there that actually looked kind of interesting, and I cannot for the life of me remember what it was. So that was an interesting line of conversation, wasn't it? Yes, it was. Is there any way of finding out? Like, you can click help and check for updates, maybe? Ah, here it is. Oh, added hardware decoding options for stinger transitions. Yes, because I tried the intro that I have for my videos. I tried getting that as a stinger transition for between scenes. I like my horizontal fade. I've had that for like 2 years. It's a bit Star Warsy, but I quite like it. But you know, it's good to try something different. Another Fool's AU for this game would be great with the knowledge you have now. It's, yeah, an actual, like, proper let's rewrite this Mad of Medan style. Because there are a few things I have in my bow of, like, this would be so much better if we just did this. It's like, not a big change, but it's a big change. They'd love to rewrite this. Yeah, like I said, I don't know how in-depth we want to go, given how in-depth we could get with the next Drawthrough. Maybe it's not the best idea to be doing that. I don't know. I have a lot of ideas that require everybody, or not don't require, but encourage everyone to get in-depth with stuff. And I don't really want to overlap them. I want to do interactive stuff next year. Got lots of ideas. Lots of ideas. Anyway, that's enough of next year. Tomorrow, we've got Hitman, and we're going to be delivering Retribution, because it's like Santa things, like delivering presents. You can start it, you'll finish it off. That's fair. The problem is that a lot of my rewrites start at the end. So I have a lot of issues with the end. well, not the end. Just I was about to say, not the end, but everything leading up to the end. I guess that's just the game, isn't it? Oh, Final Fantasy, you weird thing, you. Yes, everything. I'm blathering now. Screw it, let's play the music now. It's not mixed very well, but don't worry. It's fine. Songs for streams. Where are we? We're here. There we are. It's probably going to be quite loud, actually, but there we are. Have a wonderful time, everyone. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for enjoying the wonderful custard men's fingers and the flying pancake. And the insect horse. And all of the other weird things I drew today. Also the Non-Binarity. They showed up with a weird chicken buff thing. We drew some weird things today, didn't we? This was supposed to be the non-weird episode. Anyway. Thanks for streaming and making you question this game several times. You're welcome. Thank you for helping me question it. Because I've been questioning it all my life. Yeah. Anyway. Have a wonderful time. I'll see you around. Tomorrow's Hitman. Thursday's probably a Chibi Nethers day. Who knows for Friday? Possibly games elsewhere. Yeah. Look forward to stuff in general. Have a good evening. You have a good evening. And enjoy yourselves. Goodbye.